Hi, my name is Mohammed Atir and today my topic is globalization. First of all, let's discuss what is globalization. So, globalization is basically the exchange of product, information, or any other things which you can say the job across the national borders and the culture as well. So, in order to furthermore discuss about globalization, we shall discuss why globalization is important. So globalization is important because it create low cost products and also create the competition among the companies. Furthermore, in order to discuss the globalization in businesses, the globalization is also very important because it spreads the products and also the technology and information. So across the national borders, it affects the business in terms that many businesses are attempting to expand their geographic footprints and extend their value chains to an international level. And the bottom line in globalization is that it creates an opportunity to business and to expand their revenues as well. So furthermore, in terms of globalization, as we are talking about globalization in business, so in business the globalization needs to increase competition, and when a company is working in a global manner, it can sell at a cheaper price and able to increase its market share as well because of the national borders, and the goods which is sharing between the borders maybe on the other country it costs less, and the company which is producing within the country it will cost maybe more than this. So let's take the example of globalization. For example, the price of coffee which is here in UK, or you can say any other national country, is like 1 pounds, or in the other country it will cost like 1 pound or less. Or same like the fruits which you are using here, or the vegetables are cost less as compared to the other countries. So the best example is avocado or the mangoes we imported from the other different countries. So this is the best example of globalization. So in terms of international trade, it is also very important because it creates an you can say a point of investment for different countries and the shared values of the GDPs across the countries to trade and provide a big revenue for the economy. So furthermore, in terms of globalization, there are seven basic types of globalization. The first one is financial globalization, in which we deal with the financial aspects of globalization, and the other one is economic globalization. So means in economic globalization, we are more referred to the economy of the country, that we are providing best ways or as much as possible contribution for the economy of the country. So the third one is technological globalization. For example, if a company is using some technological aspects, so might be it will outsource its technology from different country, so it will be called as technological globalization. So political globalization is also the type of globalization in which we can say the different political aspects. For example, the country's politics is dealing with other countries for maybe international policies to foster the strength of economy, or any other aspects will be discussed in the political globalization. So furthermore, there is a type which is called cultural globalization. So in cultural globalization, different cultures or different religions will be gathered, and they will share their common beliefs, their ideas, just to foster the sense of, maybe if they are working in any kind of business or any other country for the sake of country, so it will be called as cultural globalization. So there is also a type which is called sociological globalization. So in sociological globalization, we are basically discuss the different sociological aspects of the country, like the country which is producing less waste, So we will deploy that waste to the other country, or different social aspects, like it also include different many other beliefs that we are one nation, and we are united with the other country, so it will be contributed as sociological globalization. So in order to discuss furthermore about the globalization, we will also come to the point that not only the positive impact aspects will be covered in this, there are some negative aspects of globalization as well. For example, it will include the social insecurity of the country. Maybe they are sharing some common beliefs, so maybe the job insecurity, or you can say fluctuation in the prices, or the major aspect which is called terrorism. For example, the workforce which is working here in this country or any other country from which the global trade is being held, so it will be a big factor for the terrorism, and currency devaluation, or you can say capital flows, which is called like the flow of currency from one country to another country. So in terms of its impact, we as we have discussed, that it has great impact on different countries. So for less industrialized, we can say the if we want to boom the industry, so the industries continues to make larger products, so that it will cost less as compared to the other countries. So there are big brands in around the world, like the big brands include the Airbnb, and we can say the McDonald's. Another very famous brands are the examples of this globalization, which are doing their business across the countries and different national borders. So in terms of we have to discuss the major components of the globalization. So the components are basically international trades, like we are working for the trade and investment of the country, and number second is foreign direct investment, that the investment which is coming from one country to another will be beneficial for the economy of the country, and also for the stakeholders like investors and any other stakeholders which are involved in this business. The third one is market flow, that the market is running smoothly. For instance, one country is lacking that product, and if we supply that product to the other country, so it will create a flow in the market. And you can say the also the migration of the workforce, and the division of technology, like we are outsourcing some technology, so it will also divert the technological trends from one country to the another country. So in terms of the government role in globalization, the government is also providing very restraints to some organizations. Maybe they set certain budgets that we cannot do such kind of things beyond this budget, or any other government consequences might be affect in the way of globalization. So we have also discussed the source. Let's discuss the source of globalization. So source basically includes the online source, or the print source, or you can say the country information, the country international, or their social aspects, which might be the religious, or the sociological aspects, which are discussing in the globalization. So as we have discussed about the examples of globalization, so let's discuss furthermore that how this globalization can be achieved. So the best example is just to export the things across the national borders, and we can say the licensing of the things, like I am producing these things and I am licensed to own these things, is a good example to create a global impact within the businesses and within the products which you are manufacturing. The third one is franchising, that you can outsource your franchising across the national borders, and you can say that this is my franchise and I'm producing this kind of work in the specific part of the world. And you can outsource your franchise as well, or you can assign your a specific part of your business to another part of the business, and you can call it as franchise. So you can also create the joint ventures, which is a term of partnerships. So you can trade within the national borders or within the desired company which you want to do your business. So you can create a joint ventures, and you can start trading with that company, or any kind of medium or groups which you want to join, or which you want to take your business at their extent. So you can also copy this due to by the foreign direct investment. You can talk to your government, and you can take the foreign direct investment to your business, and by this you can start doing your uh, further steps of your globalization. So there are also three successful steps of globalization which needs to be must kept consider while you are attempting and while you are like struggling initially for the globalization. The number one is start always with the strategy, because every successful business has a strategy at its back. So always start with a strategy. For instance, a world-renowned packaging company start their product initially in the Mexico, and they failed because they started without any strategy. And instead of this, the we have to also consider what is your understanding regarding the culture. For instance, at there which we are starting to globalize our product is not suitable for the culture. For instance, the recycling of the products is it's not acceptable in different religions or different regions of the world. So we must keep consider, and must make specific understanding and information regarding the research work, or you can say the different legal boundaries of the countries. So it's very important to must consider the economic cultural aspects of the country before starting this globalization. And also we also need to discuss about the competitive edge, that in terms of globalization what we will be get in return. So there is a clear vision behind every successful business. So we must have to define our competitive edge, that we have to establish our profit goals, and we have to also must have consider that we are truly connected with our customers and the outperformance of the our competitors. Without the without the competitive advantage, we can't take the lead. So it's very important to use that competitive advantage to gain the maximum profit in dealing the globalization. So here now we will discuss about the 10 best examples or the strategies which the world used to foster the sense of globalization. So the number one is cross sell more products, because as soon as you start selling more products, you will start getting more revenue, and your company will starting to excel more globally in different kind of aspects like national borders, or you can start establishing your company. You can start hiring your more staff, or your brand reputation or the brand value might be increased within the days. And the number second point is how you can create as a globalization as an effective manner by more innovating products or more services to the customers, and also to make sure that this product is very useful for the other country, or the service which you are providing to the other country is very useful, and it's basically the need of the hour of the country, that you are, if it's a service that you are outsourcing, and if it's a product. For instance, in specific seasons different kind of countries have different kind of items to export. So this is the basic example or strategy to deal within the globalization, that you are basically selling the product on the right time. So you have to innovate our product in a sense that this is the need of the hour, while you are creating the sense of globalization, or you are setting some plans in your globalization patterns. So in this way you can grow your sales, or you can start selling your products in a more effective manner. So you can also improve the customer satisfaction by giving their customer service as well. For instance, if you are selling your products and you are not providing to them the good service, might be it may be a kind of feedback, or maybe it's a kind of information from for the client which you are working for. Might be he's very upset, or he just need the satisfaction of the product. So it's very useful to provide the full customer support and any kind of customer satisfaction or service which your client or your business partner needs to inquire about at that time. So the number one is product differentiation. Might be you are not only the creator of the one product only, so you have to create the different products, and you have to be create a market capture which is very diversifying. So it's a good strategy to cope with the challenging atmosphere of the globalization. So number second last is your product strategies. So you must also consider your strategies of the products and their prices, because the prices which you are going to set gives you more contribution to your market, that you are basically outsourcing the product and it will cost less as compared to the country which the product which is arriving on that country. And you can see the service which is being used to cope with the atmosphere, or you can see the economy of the country. So it will be less compelling in terms of the price, so that the consumer or your buyer is easily to adjust the price and feel comfortable while dealing with you. So last point is technological strategies. So you must also consider to use the latest equipped technology in the fastest growing trends. You can see that the technology is changing day by day, so it's very important to use the latest technologies and the latest trends to cope with that challenge. So that's all for the today's globalization. So I will catch you in the next one. Thank you.